So like initially I was like, man, what could I call this podcast? And I was like, what's your formula? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you were big on giving me a formula to help lay out a blueprint to doing things going forward. So that's kind of like where I'm directed in the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Also, I got an ebook coming out called What's Your Formula? Plus, online, pretty much like a online convention. I call it a small online convention where I know you said you were in on being a part of it. So
yes, but yes, and I owe you a quote as well. I just thought about it.
Yeah. So this is one of the first, I say, topics I want to discuss. It's a post that I saw. The chick said, my coworker is Indian. She had a baby 6 months ago, and her parents came from India to take care of their grandchild for the first year, so they wouldn't have to put the baby in daycare. When the baby turns 1, they plan to take the baby back to India for a few months until they can find a nanny that follows their Indian culture. Someone else I know is Chinese. Her daughter is 1 and will return to China with her mother to stay until she's of school age, so they can work and save on childcare. I'm sitting here trying to figure out why so many Black Americans have this, you had a baby, you struggle on your own mentality. Where did our village go? And they said, burned down clearly. So like, I think about what we always talk about with the formula, with the crypto, with the stocks, with just different apps that we use. So like, how do you feel about what I shared, and what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I've seen that post, and it really resonates and speaks to what culture is about.
Yeah.
When we look at other groups and we look at their level of ownership, what's missing in that piece of the conversation when individuals are like, why can't we do that? Is because that's embedded in their culture.
Yes.
They have a culture which, well, first, when they come to America, they know that they have limitations. And first of all, they see America as the land of opportunity. 1. So those who come here, they come here with a plan.
Yes.
Even if they come here with no money, they're willing to work a few low-paying jobs and, live on a small percentage of their income and save. Not only save, but connect with others who are doing the same. Whereas they pool their money together, and, in what we call a susu in African culture is being, devalue those who run in schemes, but in creating their own rotating savings and credit associations, to whereas they can finance each other to partake in what they see as the American dream. So is that starting a business, purchasing a home, or sending their kids to a good school, get a good education.
Yeah.
So that's the piece many of us is missing. That it's about family coming together. It's about saving, being able to save money. If you have a mother, father, a brother, sister, and whatnot, all are living in separate homes, paying separate bills. Of course, if they come together, that's saving on their living expenses and providing the opportunity, that additional capital that they can use towards investing in a business.
Yeah.
Those who, so those examples in that meme are speaking to, they see culture is so important, that it's very important that that child has a nanny that knows their culture, that they know their family, so that they had the opportunity to put some values into that child's head before they enter with school system, whether it's a public or private school system. To whereas when they get before other kids who've been indoctrinated other ways, they have a solid foundation. To whereas, they're saying, hey, you eating this food is smelly. Well, this kid like, well, this is the food we eat. Yeah. Or they're like, you dress funny. Well, this is how we dress.
Oh.
And of course, if you're around people for so long, of course, there'll be some things that'll chip away, but of course, there's that foundation that's built. So we see how we look at the businesses that they open up. It's for a reason that they open up certain types of businesses.
Man.
And and again, it's all based on culture. And it's like something there's a formula that they have.
They got
a formula.
What's your formula? And
yeah.
It's two things that I got out of your conversation right there. that's been bothering me. One was RZA just sold 50% of the Wu-Tang catalog. And it's like, I think about my boys from Memphis, DJ Paul and Juicy J. Both of their uncles and family told them to maintain and own their masters. So by them owning their masters, they forever got money coming in and got work coming in. So now they influencing the music industry currently to this day.
Yes.
And their music is over 20 years old, 30 years old, really. And now the artists want to use their music. So I'm like, what was the purpose of selling if you know we got this problem with so-called Jews or whatnot, or whoever bought the music catalog, that 50%. I'm like, RZA could have gone to Vest, put the music on Vest, VEZT, and now you can have you know what I'm saying, an initial
ISO,
initial song offer, to offer the material for 3 to 5 to 10 years.
Yeah,
and I know the homies was looking at it like, you know, this is about, he may need some money or whatnot. But I'm like, you don't need money that bad, bro. Like, y'all been getting money. Like, it ain't gonna stop. People love Wu-Tang. You got Wu-Tang merch, you got logos, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And the other thing was Ip Man 4. I wound up watching the movie. Ip Man was Bruce Lee's teacher, instructor. And it made me sad because I saw the culture in which, how rich it was for the so-called Chinese. You know what I mean? Or the Asians, I say, as a better term. We tend to shoot each other and kill each other, right? And the father, that's somebody's father, that's somebody's brother, that's somebody's son, that's somebody's nephew that's getting killed. And we don't look at it, but it's like, that's a generation that's been lost. Now, the Asians, when they fighting, or the Chinese, when they fighting, we're going to live to see another day. Plus, we got our culture intact, and we working as a collective to hold the fort down and keep it down. And I'm not saying that America's not built off violence. I get that. But why is it that the violence is turned on? We turn the violence on each other, and it's deeply embedded in hip-hop and in the music. You know, that's kind of like trippy to me. I don't know if you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you noticed that or just, you know what I'm saying, took a take or
right. Well, first going to the RZA situation. I see both sides of it. And one thing we know, that RZA is really calculating. He is a deep thinker.
Yeah.
So with him, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a game plan on how to invest that money, grow that investment, and then buy, you know, those rights back. And so using some examples, let's say, have you ever heard of Shea Butter? Shea Moisture.
Yeah.
All right. So the brother and his wife, and his mother, they actually started the company like he was a kid, and they were selling their products, you know, they were vending in Harlem, and it grew into a successful brand. Well, they actually sold the product. They sold the brand to a larger company. And of course, there was a lot of heat behind that. But in that sale, what he ended up doing was taking some of the profits, and he purchased back Essence. So the magazine, the festival, all properties of Essence. So now Essence is back 100% Black owned. He also created a fund, $100 million fund to invest in Black women, and a venture capital fund to invest in Black women businesses, women-owned businesses. Also, he purchased one of Madam C.J. Walker's estates to use as a training facility for those Black women who go through, you know, his venture capital fund. So there was a bigger picture. It's like, yes, the brand Shea Moisture is no longer a 100% Black-owned company, but because he sold it, he was able to make other investments. The same with, and again, I know it can be looked at different ways, but, you know, with Bob Johnson selling BET. Yeah. What a lot of people don't know is Bob Johnson BET was never 100% Black owned.
Oh,
A lot of people didn't know that. No.
Because he made it. It was made to seem like that.
Well, you froze. You're.
I said it was made to seem like that.
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah, it was made to seem like BET was black owned.
Yeah. So what he did, he worked close with the government back in the days, and there was some opportunities opening up for people to own, television stations. And actually, he was approached with a business plan of somebody who had the idea of a television station just geared towards the elderly. So what he did, he basically asked him, "Hey, can I use this business plan? And I'm going to make some, but I want to make it change it for black people." And basically, he took those people's business plan and just wherever they had. Wait, you see somebody? Okay, wherever they had somebody. For the elderly or whatnot, he just plugged in black. And his initial investment was like $15,000, and he borrowed that. So it was like, 20, 30 years later, he was able to sell his portion for $1 billion. And from that, he divorced his wife. So she got half. So he didn't make the billionaires list. Mm-hmm. But he was able to take that investment, and he was able to invest in sports teams, hotels, restaurant, franchises. So he made some larger investments that he possibly would not have had the opportunity to, make, prior. So there's so many different takes on it. Yeah. Having access to capital is actually not as easy as many think. I'm in the loan brokering business. I help business owners, investors access capital for their business growth, startups, and their investments. And there's certain things that banks want, and you'll be surprised at what somebody may have. Like we see somebody like a RZA, and we think, hey, man, he's a multimillionaire. He has these projects with Wu-Tang. He has his own projects. Other people that came under Wu-Tang that he did his acting. So, he has access to money. He has some relationships, opportunity, let's say, to invest in the next Uber. And he's probably like, hey, I only have access. If I go to the bank, I can only get this much. But if I sell this portion of our portfolio, I'll have access to a larger amount, whereas I can have a larger equity investment in this company, which once this takes off, I'll be able to repurchase. So I'm sure that that's somewhere in the vein of where he's at. But I also see where you're thinking of it is as well. And that the option to vest, that's a good one as well, that a lot of people are not taking advantage of. A lot of people don't know about it.